Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Star Wars New Canon Book Club, Episode 2, The Mandalorian.
I think you mean Samurai Jack.
Do I?
Yeah, I do.
That is what this episode is.
Can I just be honest with you? This episode I enjoyed even more than the last one. And this one had no plot in it at all.
I was going to say, I read online a bunch of people being like, that first episode I really liked, and this one's kind of slow. I think they're very wrong.
Yeah.
This episode had none of the problems of a pilot/premiere episode.
It was such
Where you have to,
such episode.
Yeah, we have to put everything into it. You have to cram it filled with stuff. This was like slow and character building and showed you the world and gave us the best Star Wars character of this generation.
Who is it?
This feels so confident. You're like, we're gonna tease you with all these little things in the first episode. The Empire people that he's working for, what's this Baby Yoda, like all these different elements, and they're like, you're gonna get none of that. We're just gonna have this almost silent 40 minutes of just cool shit, and it's like, it feels like a treat. I was watching this and I'm like, feel so happy that I'm getting. I don't feel like I deserve this. This is so nice.
People often forget how Star Wars is because they get so caught up in their expectations for the story that they forget to like continue doing like the genre thing and continue to fold their idea around like the language, the love language of Star Wars, which is wrapping its stories in like stuff from like American pulp tradition. And I think a lot of people who are disappointed about Mandalorian Episode 2 are looking for a different show than the one that we're getting, which is exactly what I said last time. It's like a Western from TV from the 60s, and that's what it's gonna be. So just get used to it. It's gonna be that. You're gonna see this guy on screen for 10 minutes and he's not gonna say a single word, and it's gonna happen a lot. And it's not a story-driven show.
You're absolutely right. One of the things I noticed and I wrote down in the 3 notes I took in this episode, because I assumed I'd have to take notes, but really you don't have to. One of them was the moment where there's a Force-related thing that happens, the music is still very Western.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just straight up a sci-fi Western, and instead of the grizzled gunslinger and a little kid, it's a grizzled gunslinger and a Baby Yoda.
Yeah, it's literally Star Wars Lone Wolf and Cub.
It's a very simple plot, and it's
very effective.
Executed very well. That Yoda, man, I know his name isn't Yoda. Or she, we don't know.
People online are like, it's not Yoda. Yoda ball. You're like, shut up.
We don't know Yoda's species.
Can I actually,
until we know something else, it's Baby Yoda.
Can I actually speak to something about that really quickly? We did not cover this in the first episode, but whenever we do these episodes, I always like take a second to like go read the crazy fan theories.
Sure.
To see if there's anything worth talking about.
There are many.
There's one thing that's really worth talking about, which is that the Doctor,
Dr. Pershing.
Yeah, Dr. Pershing from the previous episode
patch.
He has the patch that all the clones had on their shoulder while they're being educated and stuff. And what this leads me to believe, if you look at that,
just that tidbit,
and then you think about like the plot of the first episode, and you think, okay, they want this baby, but it seems like the only person who's really worried about getting it alive is the Doctor.
Can we pause right there for a minute?
Yeah.
Last time we talked about this, and it didn't hit me until watching this episode, the Imperial dude is straight up just like, I don't care if you bring it back dead or alive.
Yeah.
Which, now that you know that it's a baby, is twisted.
It's fucked up, but so like what it leads me to
he's got 50 good years.
Yeah. He's basically an adult.
I mean, yeah.
He's older than the Mandalorian, probably.
Also, I figured out what the cuteness factor is.
The cat?
It's Gizmo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he looks
Straight
like,
up
my
Gizmo.
first thought was he looks like a Mogwai and a Gremlin.
Yes.
Like in a middle transition.
The best tweet that I saw was that my friend Aubrey was like, oh, wow, he's had that jacket since he was a baby. But going back to what I was saying about this clone doctor real quick. The thing is,
Dr. Pershing.
Yeah, the thing is about this is that like if they want it dead or alive, and the only person who wants it alive is the Doctor because maybe he took some type of oath or it's distasteful to see a dead baby, it leads me to believe that they want to clone this baby, maybe.
Not that
the baby itself is a clone.
I read online someone was like, it literally could be a clone of Yoda. I think that's not gonna happen, but timestamp wise,
what if we learn that Yoda is an absentee father? He just like,
oh my god,
he made a baby and then just bounced.
If it is a clone,
cigarettes, I go get.
If it is a clone, it
never came back. You did.
Does this literally tie into the saga of the Skywalkers? I really don't think.
Hope not.
I really don't think so.
I hope there are no Skywalkers to be found.
I just mean like to me the Emperor is like almost part of that. Like I don't want the Emperor's machinations leading into episode 9 to like.
I feel like there can be equally awful Imperials doing awful things.
Yeah.
And they can do it for their own
That's exactly how I
reasons.
feel. Like maybe
Yeah.
this guy just wants to make an army of little Yodas to like fucking fight, like Dark Jedi Yoda guys with lightsabers.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole cast and crew, when they were being interviewed at the premiere, even Werner Herzog was like, "We always called it Baby Yoda. I loved shooting with it." But you have
That
to.
tells me that we're going to see a great scene with those two.
Yeah, so
I'm
I don't know.
excited.
I don't know. I don't know if he was actually in the scene with it,
I fought,
but he definitely was on set with the Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Also, just something I was thinking about because I was looking back at old promotional pictures. He gets a full set of
Full
armor.
set of armor.
I,
Yeah,
I
in
like.
the trailer,
I never
yeah.
like. Because a lot of times it's like shiny, and you're like, oh, I think that's just like part of the promo pictures. No, it's very clear that he gets a full set of
Every picture.
armor.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
episode, he leaves with a lot less armor, so...
Yeah, and then seeing it get beat up, I was like, all right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the transition.
Okay.
I think this is going to be just a soft prediction. The story that all these stories are, which is like, I'm the bounty hunter and I'm going to deliver this baby. Hand it over, get the Beskar steel, and then be like,
the baby.
What have I done?
Yeah, he's
And
gotta
he has to
save-
go back and save the baby.
Yeah.
It seems very clear, but like, I'm down. I'm down for this
He's gonna
adventure.
go put his clothes on, hire that Zarya chick, and just like go body everyone.
Yes,
That'd be
yeah.
so sick.
I am surprised, but I kind of love it. No Cara Dune yet. They're taking the pace of this is so. It just seems so like they're like, don't worry, you're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell the story at our pace, and guess what? It's gonna be like great.
Really, just like think about Samurai Jack in your mind. If you aren't old enough to remember cowboy TV shows or any of that shit, just go into the show, try and appreciate it for what it is, and keep Samurai Jack in your mind. And also, everybody who's online talking about the length of this show, shut the fuck up. You don't deserve this show. You don't know anything about it. Please stop complaining about the length of
Wait,
episodes.
that is too short? Is that the
Yeah,
complaint?
well, this one was only 30 minutes compared to the last one, which was 40, but it's the season premiere.
As a person who uploads Let's Plays, let me just tell you, that's
Yeah.
my life. Like,
Yeah.
the last episode was an hour long. This episode was only 4 to 6 minutes. Like, look,
Did it ever occur to you
good
that shit is-
storytelling ends when it ends. Like, there is
I do love that having it be different, like variable episode length, because then it's like, yeah, this story is 30 minutes long.
yeah,
Boom.
That's all you need.
The only reason the fucking length of shit mattered in the first place was because of broadcast.
Yeah, and
You know-
because it's
You gotta
unnecessary.
fit commercials.
Yeah.
And...
A 22 or a 28. What are you gonna make?
Yeah.
All right, let's go through the plot.
Yes.
Yes. So we start. The baby Yoda and the bounty hunter are walking down the lane.
I love that it's like might as well be a speeder that the baby's in, like his own little speeder, because
And it's connected
it can
to
keep up with a sandcrawler.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can control it.
So people were wondering if like the baby was floating this thing itself.
No, he has a little controller.
Yeah, in
on
this
his-
episode, it's very clear that the thing is like slaved to his like wrist communicator.
Yeah.
That said, he can get it in and out of it pretty easily, which is so funny. But
Watching him walk. God.
it's a practical
Damn.
puppet. It's a practical puppet, which I
So
didn't
cute.
realize. in
That's
the
what's
first...
so good about like the Ugnaught, and with it's all practical.
Yeah.
And it fucking shows. It's so good.
When he talks, sometimes his mouth doesn't match to his actual voice.
Right.
A little
And
bit,
And
yeah.
normally I'd be like, come on.
It gives me the flavor. Yeah.
Yes.
It
it's like-
reminds me a little bit, and I haven't watched this show yet, but I mean to. The Dark Crystal. It has
Yes.
like that element.
Yeah.
But it feels
very Henson.
cooler because it's a
It's like
little bit
high-tech
jank.
articulated puppets.
In
that,
my mind, I imagine Nick Nolte trying to move its mouth.
yeah.
I have spoken.
So he runs into these three Trendos, and he bodies them pretty quick, but they like fuck him up pretty bad. It's a great
And
little
also,
shot.
by the way, I'm pretty sure, is this our first actual live-action vibroblade?
Yes. Where you
Yes.
see
That
it-
shit has been around since the original like extended universe stuff.
In Return
and
of the Jedi, dudes were holding them. They looked cool as shit, but no one ever actually used it.
But here we saw them literally like you can see
turn
the,
it on.
the
Yeah.
effect.
The
Yeah.
lightsaberness of it.
And he has, and we
Very
see.
cool.
Well, we talked about his rifle, and we see it
you
used.
specifically were like, I want to see him shoot it. When it went off, I was like, David!
Well,
Turns out
first of
it's-
all, he can block a vibro lance with it, and it fucks. And then he like loads.
It has cartridges. Yeah.
Is it a slug thrower or is it a?
It's long. It's long
disintegrator.
It's a disruptor.
or disrupt.
It's
so
long,
it's a no-no weapon.
Yeah, it's a long range Mandalorian disruptor,
Yes.
like with a fork.
As we learned,
aims
disruptors are
it.
no weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're outlawed.
Yeah, well, unless you're Mandalorian, right? 'Cause-
I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, as you know, weapons and armor are my religion.
Yeah.
But basically, he does this sick fight, and then he just like this guy's like books it. He literally turns him into a War of the Worlds. Like this thing.
Except
like,
his clothes blow off of him.
Yeah,
I love it.
He like
He'd be
literally,
"Pew!"
this gun literally raptures people to heaven. It's fucking crazy.
That is a
Be they Trando or Jawa or anyone. So basically, the Trandos go down. They look great. They look like 70s Trandos, which is awesome.
Yeah.
They look way different than the like shitty ones that are in Rebels or Clone Wars or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But then he realizes like, oh shit, the client keeps sending motherfuckers after me, and I'm going to have to keep killing them until I get this thing off my hands because I am just in danger, and this thing is like worth way too much money. So that's what's going on. But then he gets
hurt.
Yeah,
And we get a very cute scene that truly one of my favorite Star Wars scenes, period.
This is the scene where I have that like, do I want a fucking kid?
What?
You know what? I'm not the only one that had that reaction. I was
The
like,
internet was filled with people who were like,
I'm just
I want a baby Yoda.
I'm like, wow, I want like a kid. I think I want a kid.
Just
has
wait
force
for that
powers.
like high-tech $600 Christmas toy that's like the floating Baby Yoda.
So because Baby Yoda is 50 years old and definitely probably knows some shit,
He's already got a little gray hair coming in.
Yeah,
He
when
looks
he's-
like a little George Costanza.
when the Mandalorian is all cut up on his arm, he goes there trying to like heal him.
He almost
multiple
passes
times.
out, yeah.
And the Mandalorian's like,
Get in your crib, dude.
and then it's a very cute scene that only furthers the plot of this Yoda.
They love
this
each other,
Baby
yeah.
Yoda's very intelligent and like
And
wants to take care of this guy.
Was he just like trying to like burn his like was he just like trying to scar it over?
Yeah, he was just trying to like
He just does this
Mandalorian
all
his
the
way
time.
through it. And the baby's just like, let me help you, bro. And he's
So
like, go
freaking
back to
cute.
bed, baby. It's such
He
a
does.
great
It's
scene.
great because we realize that the baby is
Trying
Yeah,
to
about
force
to-
heal him.
yeah.
And he has no
But
Which
he's
is this the first time we're seeing force healing? I don't think we've seen
It is.
this.
It is stuff that has been talked about in expanded universes.
a long time, yeah.
But never. I don't. No, in none of the movies have we. Like,
I was
really
waiting
ever.
for it to heal. I was like, that'd be the if we saw it heal over, that'd be the first time you saw like a force
like it
heal.
close. Yeah,
That'd
I
be
don't.
dope.
We're gonna see it at some point. It's gonna happen.
Sure.
Okay, so they get back to the fire. Baby Yoda's like, let me heal you. He's like, no. So then he goes back to his ship, and now he's like, fuck, because he sees his ship has been totally just like.
Dude, yeah, the Jawas are literally
he
stripping
basically
it.
comes back, and his ship is like on blocks, like
do we
a
know
car.
Jawa lore? Are
What about
they
them?
on every planet?
No,
or
no,
Is,
so
is
it's-
this on Tatooine?
No, it's not on Tatooine. It's tribal. As you can see, they're all a little different. All the
There are
Jawas.
spacefaring Jawas?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, there's Ewoks in other systems. Like, if
Are
you can,
there?
Yeah. I mean, at least there were. If you can get on
What?
in Legends, if you can get on a ship, you can go somewhere. And I feel like the Jawas.
I mean, in one of the books, we got a bit of that, but it's also.
I don't think this is on Tatooine.
I
Jawas-
agree it's not on Tatooine, but it's like a strange thing to include in the lore without explanation.
if you're
but
in
I
the
guess
outer
we'll get
rim,
it.
if you're in the outer rim,
Yeah, I'm assuming they just are like a slightly nomadic. I mean, they're nomadic on the planet, but you could just be like, yep, they just in the outer rim, they kind of like go to desert planets and they scavenge. And
yeah,
that's their thing.
Yes.
We also got the first time we've ever seen the inside of a sandcrawler on screen.
in the little. Well, we've seen the inside, but not the cockpit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to see how they drive around in it. We got to see like them opening all the windows. It very much I'm gonna say a tribute to Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. The
It's
scene where
literally
they,
like a train robbery from
Yeah.
a western.
it's like the tank scene at the end of The Last Crusade. It was
Yes. Yeah, that one part where he like climbs up and avoids the rock was like right out of Last Crusade.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like stripping off the parts. Did you feel like a weird conflicted? He just starts loading up his
I've
little
always
bullets
wanted- I've
and
always wanted-
erases Jawas from he's just
I
like
liked-
murdering them.
I liked
and I was
that
like,
Baby
I felt
Yoda-
weird.
Baby Yoda was giving him looks like, is this who you are? I was wondering what Baby Yoda was invested in this
I don't think
character's
he's.
plot.
I don't think he's like a moral. I don't think he's like a moral judge.
But I think he's like trying to learn about this dude
What
and
if-
who his new protector is.
what if this Baby Yoda just becomes like a Yoda species bounty hunter? That's a bad idea. Never mind. I take it back. So, by the way, I know Davis was conflicted. I have always wondered why people don't just like go ham on Jawas. Okay, if you're from Tatooine, why the fuck would you ever let Jawas live?
What do you mean?
Well, because a lot of times that you buy your
they're trade-
recycled.
well, yeah,
They're scavengers and thieves apparently, but they also provide like cheap parts.
I'm just saying, let's say you're like three guys, three bounty hunters with guns, and you get back to your car one day and you're like, oh man, I got jacked by a bunch of Jawas. What would stop you from riding your speeder bike into the desert and killing every one of those
I mean,
Jawas.
that's what happens.
But it doesn't. But it doesn't.
Not just the men, the women and the children.
But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because the Mandalorian does this awesome set piece. There's like little windows opening and closing with them poking their heads out. He's throwing them off. He's like blowing them away. But then he gets all the way to the top.
Baby Yoda following along behind.
Yeah,
Very
because
cute.
it's slaved to his wrist, so they like cut back and he's like riding along like a horse. Yeah. He finally fights his way up to the top. And the cool thing about this sandcrawler that's unlike the ones from Tatooine is that these Jawas, they like to chill a little bit, so they have like a little
There's
like
cabana.
Yeah, they have like a
cabana on top
rooftop
of it.
patio at the top. They're all chilling out there, and he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Utini!" And they
And
all
they just,
shoot.
like, they'll have like the ion blasters or whatever, and just
Like
like
blast him and he falls off.
It's exactly what happens to R2-D2 in A New Hope. Just imagine it's a bounty hunter instead, and he falls backwards instead of forwards.
and it's about 12 or 13 Jawas.
yeah, he gets decked. He's
he
laying
gets-
there.
He's just in the mud, dude. He gets so dirty and grimy.
He gets
in this
fucked
episode.
by
It's-
that.
Yeah.
But so then he picks up all his shit that he has. He's like, God damn it. He takes the baby. He goes back to Nick Nolte, who's like, hey, homie, what's up? I thought you were gone. And he's like, no, these guys like took all my shit. He's like, oh, I speak Jawa. Come on down there. And apparently he does too, but I didn't realize that. But he went down there.
I think that this is all to just teach us that there's some worldly aspect to him that we haven't even known.
Well,
yet.
I mean, I think it's just Hadis, maybe. I don't know. But basically, Nick Nolte comes down there and he's like, what? What is it going to take? He's like, they're not like
Egg.
They're not like killers.
Egg.
Well, they're not
Egg.
killers. They're like
Egg.
they're like thieves. So he's like, we got to barter. First, they're like, give us your armor. He's like, no, I'm a Mandalorian. That's my religion. You can't take my armor, my weapons. And then they're like,
Egg.
and then well, no,
Egg.
then they're like, give us the baby. And he's like, I'm not giving you the fucking baby. Then
he even like flame throws.
Yeah, he flamethrowers them. He's
yeah,
like,
they're like, fuck. He's like, fuck you. And they're like, ah, because they make him put down all his weapons. And I was immediately like, well, they didn't make him put down his flamethrower, and they totally used it.
What I love is like in this universe, death for them is like not that. They lose a bunch of them and they're like just angry
It's
about
understandable.
it. Like yeah, there's like a bunch of them and they live like a weird life. It's like not.
I mean, it's chill that they're cool about it. They're like, well, I mean, you caught us jacking your shit off your ship. I mean, I guess you drop a couple of us, you know, come see, come saw. Yeah. Less people to share the egg with. So they're like, we want the egg. He's like, fucking fine, I'll go get the egg. He goes to get the egg, and it's this hole. And he's like, what the fuck is this? He goes into the hole. He starts looking around. It's like a scary ass like
Rhino
FPS.
creature.
Well, it's like you can't see that much besides the light type camera shots.
This reminds me of Republic Commando when you're like
Yes.
poking through the little
The visibility in that game is so awesome that it's like just your helmet. I love that.
Yeah.
So they go in the hole, and he finds this monster in there that looks
By the way,
almost...
that's like a weird butthole cave.
yeah, it's like a puckered butthole, like black tar
Anus, you
puckered
mean.
Yes.
butthole.
That's a booty hole.
Sphincter.
Butthole.
Okay, Dr. Cox.
Dr. Pershing. Our monster looked like he had like a mushroom in his brain and like glossed over his eyes, and he had like a weird like woolly...
Yeah, he's very
back.
woolly rhino.
Yeah, he's like a big, nasty, sharp teeth, woolly
Which
rhino. It's a
is
sick
cool.
fight. The Mando has like no chance, really. He's just like getting beat over and over again. It's kind of like a bullfight where like, if you just imagine every time they did it, the bullfighter just got like dead ass hit by the bull.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, he uses his several tools that he has on him to, like...
Do a few things.
Yeah,
But like,
It gores him, but it like doesn't cut his...
it
cut his
knocks
skin,
off his armor.
but it like,
that
yeah,
just
it like
repaired.
peels off the layer of his armor. That's really cool.
And then he gives up. I
yeah,
think that's
they-
what
Well,
happened.
he doesn't give up. He's just like, I'm fucking dead. All I have is this knife. I'm covered in mud. I'm almost out of strength. I'm gonna just like try.
It did feel like a... All right, I'm gonna... Because he was like on the ground, and it was sort of like a... I'm gonna like try and get the killing blow while you get a killing blow type setup. And it does look like he's sort of like made peace with
Yeah.
his life.
Yeah.
And then fucking
Baby
Baby
Yoda.
Yoda just like...
Yoda.
God damn, it gets
And
me.
go back, listen to that music. It's
awesome.
kind of like Western Force theme.
It's awesome.
It's very cool.
But then he's like, oh shit. And then he just like that. If there's something somebody should be mad about in this, it's that he just has like maybe I would say like a 4-inch knife.
It's a vibro knife.
Whatever it is. He walks up to this thing and it's just like, pop, and then it's like dead.
Dude, that is a common trope of like when just a one carefully placed knife
Right
attack
behind the
kills.
ear, kind of
that,
like
that shit
brain
is like
death.
in every genre of everything.
I guess
ever.
it just didn't even look like he did it anywhere near any sort of like.
It was like in the head. What made less sense to me, but was still a cool move. He does the like dig in the knife to get the killing thing, and you're like, Listen, it already is dead.
Yeah, you
basically.
got it. It's dead. He gets the egg that he wanted.
The furry egg that is 100% yolk.
It's nasty.
Dude, that's a cool design for it. I don't know, like, it's just cool design elements, a furry egg.
I love like gross Star Wars shit. That gets me hyped.
He's like just covered in fucking slime.
Like when Jabba eats those like little frogs.
Oh, we forgot to even
Oh my
mention.
God, I forgot.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Baby Yoda eats a full-on frog the size of his body.
Yeah, it's like spit it out or whatever.
And he's just like,
It's so cute because he's looking at the frogs and you're like, oh, and then you look back and like, oh, he's eating it. Yeah, so they go back and they have those cool like, I think they're called kukri, but like the Jawa knife has that sick thing, and that motherfucker just cleaves that shit.
The like bent knife.
Yeah.
and they all go to
Dude,
town on that egg.
they're like green breast milk. They're just like,
Can I be real?
they're like. I
looks
love
great.
this scene, by the way. This scene is a wonderful scene.
Can I be real?
They're all digging in. And I'm like, I kind of want to. It's like when Pooh gets honey finally.
Yes, that's exactly what
And
it is.
dude, it's like sticky, and it's like it's all over their faces and their hands, and they're sharing it, and you're just like, I love this
Low and
show.
slow.
I love the show.
Low and slow, on and off the heat, spin it around, little add some chives at the last minute, pop in a little
Straight
creme
up.
fraiche.
If there's an episode where they're on the top of the fucking sandcrawler in their little cabana, and Alex motherfucking Fossiani is like kiss the chef thing, and he's just like, oh,
It tracks.
you want some of this? You're just like making omelets from whatever this fucking is.
I'm gonna make
You're
a-
like, "Ooh, and you're like, you're gonna get it when you get it, little guy. Like you're just like
I'm gonna make a
shit talking the
46-inch
Jawas.
diameter omelet.
I'd be like, I'm okay. I'm totally
It fits.
fine with this.
It fits with the universe. I have spoken.
So he gets all of his stuff back.
He literally ties all that shit. He literally ties all that shit to like the Grinch's sleigh.
That's exactly what it looks like.
You can even see his fucking toilet seat, like in the trash pile, which is funny. And then he gets back, and then literally it was gonna be that Nick Nolte was gonna just like do it for him, but he's like, "Why don't you help me, brother?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Dude, you're fucking awesome. Will you
Stay with me?"
He was
Yeah.
like, "Will you help me?" And he's like,
I was
"Nah, I gotta
really,
go."
I was really hoping.
I
Can I
was
tell
hoping
you?
too.
Can I tell you what's gonna
But it
happen?
kind of makes sense because this guy has like a whole life.
How many episodes are there?
But he's gonna come back. You're saying
how many episodes are there?
8, 10?
8.
Oh, I have no clue. But
I
he's
think it's
definitely, I need the crew.
I
need
think
like
he's
a
gonna
crew for
meet.
this.
I think
Yeah.
he's gonna meet everyone individually. Then he's gonna need to save the baby and get the group to do like a heist.
I agree completely.
I think that's what this is. It's like a fucking like Western, like almost unrelated episodes, and then we're gonna get like the plot, like a JRPG.
Magnificent Seven situation.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. He just jumps on the ship and takes off.
And
at
then
that point.
Baby Yoda has fallen asleep since using his force powers, or her force. It's force powers.
It passed out immediately after saving him from the bull. By the way,
And at the very, very end, wakes up and does like a, "Oh, you lived, awesome!" And I'm in space. The end.
yeah, he's hype. I guess that's like kind of like tying back to the. I never really got the sense that the Force fucks you up until the Last Jedi.
It's
but
like a new. It's a new.
I mean,
thing.
it's kind of like implied, like you watch people do things with the Force, but it seems to almost go against what Yoda says.
Originally in old legends, the Emperor wasn't like made ugly by Force lightning his face.
No, it's because like
the dark side of the Force.
power. It
It's
like
like when
uses
you're
you.
playing.
Yeah.
It's like
like
when you're playing Fables and you just like get horns out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the dark side would like waste away your body, which is why the Emperor needed clones in the old legends material. All right, well that's it for this episode. But this Friday another one comes out. Very excited, and we'll be back to chat about that one as well.
Heck yeah.
Peace out.
Remember, keep your your friends
Keep your
close
helmet on and your
and
gun.
your sweet little baby Force Yoda who can CC enemies and need closer.
CC enemies.
I straight up was like, that's a great twos partner right there.
Yeah.
That's the clutch stun that you need.
You could get that DPS.
And
in
then
And then Immortal
enemies.
strikes him.
You know, where's the payoff?
Bring the strippers and booze!
We do occasionally talk about video games.
Bring the strippers and booze! Not enough time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze!
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
Yeah, now sing music.
Bring the strippers and booze!
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
You